with appreciation, I even at this point, I started with my boys at night. I asked them to tell me 3 things that they appreciate from the day, because I realized that it changes your mindset. Like you said, a lot of stuff has happened through the day. And sometimes you go to bed and you're like, sad and upset. But when you can bring back into focus the good things that have happened that day, it just changes. I think you even rest better.
Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Oh, welcome, everyone, to another amazing episode of Referrals Podcast. So glad to have you here. You've got your water, you've got your coffee, you've got your Bang energy drink. Thank you. Today is sponsored by Bang Energy. And I know that you are ready for this today. Today, we are going deep on morning routines. Should we have a morning ritual? What should be in the morning ritual? And what can we get out of having a morning ritual? And just so you know, you do have a morning ritual. Everybody has a morning ritual. Here's the thing. Could your morning ritual improve so that your day is not chaotic? Can we take the mayhem out of your AM? Your AM. And we want to take the mayhem out of your AM. We want to take the mayhem out of your entire day. And what if I told you that if you had a morning ritual that you had developed and just kind of taken on something new each and every week, guess what? You could be more productive. You could be more positive. You could be happier. You could have more optimism. You could have more wealth. You could have all the things that you want in life. What if it was just a slight tweak to your morning ritual? That's what we're going to go deep into today. I can't wait to introduce you to Remi. And here's the thing I want you to know is today can be very profound to you, and not just you, but your entire family, especially if you have children, because they're going to see you working on improvement on a daily basis. And is there any better model than doing that? I mean, here's the thing. You can tell your kids all the time, clean up your room. If your room is a mess, then guess what? They're not going to learn to clean their room, right? Do as I say, not as I do. What if they could see you do? And I'm telling you right now, they do see what you do, and they don't listen to what you say. I'm sorry to tell you that. That's coming from a father with a 15-year-old. But the bottom line is that is one of the benefits of this that you get that maybe you don't think about. And what if you could be a role model for your spouse? Have you thought about that? And have you thought about just stepping up and making this part of what you do? The morning ritual, I love it. I do. It's part of the 4 enriching rituals that we teach here at the Referral Mastery System and at ReferCo. And I can't wait to dive in. I got to give a quick shout out to Julie Oakes, one of our longtime Referral Mastery Academy members. In fact, she was one of the first ambassadors to join Referral Mastery Academy. And listen, we still wow our ambassadors. That's what I love about the podcast. Episode 219, holy moly, listened while walking, and it inspired me. I have a specific niche, and I'm starting a Facebook group for it today. Julie Oakes, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. We want to hear from you. People, let us know in joingengen.com, which is our generosity generation group, or when you rate and review it, make sure you let us know your name and who you are, and we will make sure we get you a shout out on Referrals Podcast. One quick call to action. If you haven't joined GenGen, joingengen.com, joingengen.com. And guess what? Coming in March, our 10th annual March Magic Challenge is here, baby. It's all new, all improved. It is set up to get you referrals. It is set up to maximize self-mastery, relationship mastery, and event mastery for you. 30 days of coaching by me, 5-minute video in the morning. I give you a tip or a trick or something to do, a strategy. You go do it, and then you report to us in the group. So we have daily accountability with it. We've got teams on it. We've got brokerages on it. We've got companies on it. We've got individuals on it, solopreneurs, agents, lenders, whatever it may be. We'd love for you to check it out at marchmagicchallenge.com, or you can join the Referral Mastery Academy and get it for free. Love it. It's going to be here. It's coming up. Check it out. Speaking of checking it out, check out today's guest. Remi Aina is our guest today. She's a real estate agent out of Cincinnati, Ohio. She says that she found Gen and RMA, Referral Mastery Academy, after she read 7L, which is a very common story that we hear. And she says that she honestly wished she had found it way earlier in her journey. And before real estate, she sells seashells by the seashore. Holy cow. She served as a business systems analyst working for Oracle Corporation. She's smarter than you and me. I'm just telling you, she's smarter than me. Maybe not you, but she served in the United Kingdom as a business systems analyst. Then she opened and ran a Montessori preschool in Adams County, Ohio. She found a natural transition to the world of real estate with this background. Education seems to be a really great bridge to real estate. In addition to her professional pursuits, she is married to an amazing man, Inca, and has been blessed with two incredible boys, Toby, who is currently 17 years old, and Katan, who is 13 years old. Family is the cornerstone of her life, and their unwavering support fuels her dedication and makes her want to be better and be a better example for them to follow. See what I was talking about earlier? So without further ado, let's welcome Remi Aina to Referrals Podcast. Welcome, Remi.
Hi, Michael. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to be on the podcast.
Yeah, I'll tell you, what an interesting background that you have. I have to ask, all right, so you're a business systems analyst with Oracle in the United Kingdom, and then you came to the United States and were running a Montessori preschool. And God bless you for doing that. All the great success stories of the Montessori schools, right? So, all right. So how did that happen? First of all, I got to just like, that's not just a little leap. It's a leap across an ocean, and it's a leap into an entirely different industry, really.
That is correct. I worked in business systems. My first degree was in business management, but I didn't actually practice in business management because I found so many opportunities to work in systems in a lot of companies that I worked for. And so it was just natural for me to go into IT. And as I did, I found a niche in, users and programmers just don't speak the same language. And it was so difficult to get the programmers to understand what the users wanted and vice versa. So that was just a very natural place for me to be. And I love communicating and solving problems, I guess. And so then I met my husband. Actually, I decided that I was done with corporate America because I was in England, but I wanted to give a little more. I needed to do something a little bit more meaningful. And through church, I came across Montessori education. And so I decided to go do that. And then I met my husband as I was finishing off my education. And I moved to the States and worked for Montessori school for a little bit. Then the opportunity came up for me to purchase a school out in Adams County. Now, Adams County is rural it's rural America. And my husband had been there for a few years, and we wanted an opportunity to be able to give back. So I started it and I ran it for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I have students that I went to one of my students' weddings this last summer. That was pretty cool.
That's really awesome.
That was really cool. And that was it, really. And so COVID hit, and I was trying to figure out something else to do because one of my desires was to be with my children, and now they're growing up and kind of transitioning out. So it's like, okay, what else is there to do? And I have always enjoyed, houses and homes and that kind of stuff. So I decided to just try out real estate, and it's been amazing so far. It's been more than just buying and selling homes.
Yeah, for sure. It's people, it's communication skills for sure. Well, all right. So let's jump into Referral Mastery Academy and 30 mornings. And all right, so you just took 30 mornings just recently. And so how many times have you taken 30 mornings?
Well, I signed up for it 3 times. I took it 2 times.
There you go. Right. That happens. Yes, as we know. So this is your second time going through it. Did you take it last June and then January, or did you take it each of the last 2 Januaries?
I took it last January and then this January.
Okay, there you go. January is such a good month to tweak the morning ritual, start a new ritual or build on the old ritual. So what made this time different? Because, all I heard from Polly and Angela were Remi this, Remi that. Remi is just absolutely knocking it out of the park. And Remi's a blessing to the class. How about that? I heard that. So what made this time different for you?
Well, as it has been a journey. Last year was a big challenge. Let me rewind that. When I got my real estate license, I didn't practice for about a year, and then I really started last January. It was a struggle. It was a struggle just getting through everything, and then I also invest. And I heard you say on one of your podcasts, make sure you buy at least one property if you're a realtor. And so I do have a few, but walking that journey was tough. It was challenging. And as I got to the end of the year, I just felt so frazzled. But I had been going through the classes in RMA on and off and on off. And then I realized I had followed a lot of shiny objects.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh my gosh, I've got the gem right here. What am I looking for all over the place? Because RMA just lays it out for you the whole year. And so I honed it back in and decided to do the YAP class, towards the end of the year, because I realized I missed out on that last year. So that threw me off. So I did that. And as I just reflected, I realized that I needed something a little bit more structured. And then I remembered that I had done because I did the morning ritual for a long time and then kind of fell off the wagon. To be fair, I fell off the wagon, and then I realized, you know what, let me get back in class. Let me get back and listen to other people. Because it helps when you realize that you're not walking the journey alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I came back this time, it was a new awareness that, you know what, lessons learned, this is important. It does make a difference.
Love that. And this is a great reminder we have like a lot of new members in Referral Mastery Academy. If you're brand new and you joined after we went through the YAPS class, it is available for you. And I highly recommend, if you're an RMA ambassador, go back and review the YAPS, because I literally outline the entire year and you get a chance to see the year from like a helicopter, almost like a 5,000 foot level. And it really starts to put the pieces together for you. So hopefully you get a chance to check that out. And then, all right. So did you attend every day? Did you get a chance to attend every day of 30 mornings, which is 30 days? It's intense.
It is 30 days. I actually did not, because the first 7 days I was still in California. And when I looked at the time difference, that would have been like 4 a.m. in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew, because I had attended before, I knew what the format was. So I just woke up a little later and just, followed the routine. So as soon as I got back, I was ready to hop in. And yes, I did the majority of the days with them. So you first start at 6:45, and then it kind of built back up. So I started at the 6:30 point. So I did 3 weeks in effect.
Okay, so it starts at 7, then it went 6:45, then 6:30, then 6:15, and then 6 a.m. for the last couple of days, right? And so we do that because anytime someone starts a new habit, too often people are like, I'm going to be in the 5 a.m. club when they've normally been getting up at 7:30 or 8. Well, after about 3 days, they're sick. They feel like crap, and they're wondering why they can't get anything done, why they have brain fog all day. Well, it's because it was just too sharp of a change in the system. So that's why we're like, all right, we're going to start at like when people normally get up, kind of, and then we'll just go back 15 minutes earlier. And it's not about getting up earlier. It's about getting up better. And that's the big thing that I want people to know. If you get up at 8 o'clock and you do the morning ritual from 8 to 8:30 or 8 to 9 a.m., you win. There's nothing wrong with that. It just, if you have kids and they go to school, sometimes it's better just to maybe do that morning ritual before you have to get the kids up. So that's why we do that, why we step at 15. And this is a great lesson for everyone, is I'm a big believer in the 1 degree tweak. Don't make a big change fast. Make a big change slow. Do it 15 minutes at a time. If you're wanting to write a handwritten note, 5 a week or whatever, write 1 the first week and then try to get 2 the next week. And I'm a believer in the only way people really change is through small tweaks. I just think the massive change ends up with people that are injured or sick or miserable, and it just doesn't sink in. So that's why we do that, and that's how you kind of went through the class. So what did you learn this time? What do you feel like you learned throughout the 30 mornings this time?
To be honest, piggybacking just off of what you said, my goal is to be better today than I was yesterday.
There you go.
I just figured, because I tried to follow it to the T and it was hard. And so I've just learned to make it my own. Like you said, it's not about waking up at 6 o'clock. It's about waking up better. So
Mm-hmm.
there are days when I can't get to bed on time. And so I just readjust in the morning, but I just make sure that I follow the routine.
Yeah. Love that. That's the beauty of the 7-minute savers, right? Is that you can still stick to the routine even if you get up a little bit later. You're just going to do everything a little quicker, do less time for each, or you're going to cut one out. Maybe the exercise doesn't happen today, the walk or whatever it may be, and you'll end up doing a walk in the evening instead to make up for it. So, all right. So what did you implement this time? What were the things that, I want to make sure that we don't breeze over the profundity or how profound the statement of better today than yesterday really is. That's the answer. Like, we need to understand that, it's easy to breeze over that and just say, oh, well, I want to be better than yesterday. Well, everybody says that. But the thing about the morning ritual is that, well, there's a plan in place to be better than yesterday, to be better tomorrow than today. So I absolutely love that you said that, because that's, honestly, that's everything I do. Like, I want to shower better every day. Like, I'm in there, like, can I actually get out of the shower in 3 minutes and get everything done? Can I, do I put my deodorant under my right arm or left arm first? I'm always looking for more efficient ways to do it. I have a system for taking a shower. Like, literally, I put the conditioner on my hair, then I shave, then I soap, because then the conditioner gets a chance to work versus, doing everything and then doing a conditioner last and then just rinsing it right out. It's like, it's better today than yesterday. Right. So, I don't want to breeze over that and how important that one statement is, because we all have that philosophy of what I'm going to do today, I'm going to do it a little bit better than I did yesterday, then we will win. We will win. So, all right. So back to, what did you implement?
Sure. I implemented a few things over time, to be honest. But one of the things was the journaling. So sometimes I want to write and sometimes I really just don't feel like writing. And so I discovered a different way to journal. So I like to craft, I like to draw and paint. I'm not great at it, but I just love to do it. So sometimes, and then it allows me to stack things, because then I can do my affirmations in that time. I can do my gratitude in that time. And then I just write it out. Then I draw pictures and things that remind me. So as I go through my pages, I just see the picture and it's a reminder of whatever it was that, I was reflecting on at that time. I do the same thing with my reading. So that way I have pointers. And the interesting thing is I have actually been going back over my journal, which I wouldn't normally do. But because I enjoyed the pictures, I would go back and look at them.
Yeah.
Reminders of my affirmations or, all of those reflections. A second thing is with what I really like is it gives me a time block. So I know you said that we should do it at night, but sometimes I can't really quite get to it at night, or I do a part of it. But then that morning, my brain is fresh. I've done my silence. I've calmed myself down. I can put it out, and I block out my time. So if you should see my planner, my journal, the first few pages are kind of scant. But over the last few weeks, as the time progressed, they're getting fuller. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I had this many things packed into a day. But those are just a couple of things that I have, implemented, and every day just gets better.
Yeah, I love it. And just for everyone that's maybe newer to 30 mornings and the morning ritual and the things that we teach is we teach a savers methodology that Hal Elrod and myself wrote a book called The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents, and we outline savers in that book, and we've added to it over time as kind of some of these things have developed. So, the savers is it starts with silence, which could be meditation, prayer. It can just be silence, quiet time where you just kind of wake up. And then there's 2 A's in savers, and it's affirmations, which is positive self-talk, typically I am statements or I am committed statements. And then you got the A for appreciations, which is very big. I'm a believer in doing at least 3 to 5 appreciations in the morning. I'm also a big believer in doing appreciations at night, especially doing them at night before you go to bed, because we can just let the bad kind of eat us away and rob us of sleep if we don't really get a chance to get into gratitude and appreciation. And then the V is for visualization, which I love in the morning. I'm a big believer in visualizing your day. Look at your schedule and just visualize what would be the best thing that could happen today. And I mean, like, and then say to yourself, like, this is what I envision for the day, or something better, and be open to the opportunities of what could be better than even your imagination could visualize. And then the E is for exercise. And like, Julie Oakes was talking about before, we have a group within Gen who it is their ritual to get up, and they walk and listen to the podcast at the same time, walking on treadmill or walking outside, which leads to the R, which is for reading. And, you can also listen to audiobooks during that time. Reading can be as short as 5 minutes. It can be as long as an hour. And then the S, we actually pour a couple S's at the end. The first S is for scribing, which is journaling, as Remi has outlined. And that's a big one. I'm a believer in journaling before you start your day, like journaling before you get into the shower, like get the thoughts on paper, even if it's one sentence. And then the last S is a big one. And we're finding that it's maybe even more important than ever, which is sunlight, and get some sunlight, and making sure, because it will balance your hormones. It kind of sets your tone for the day. Now, if you're the 3 a.m. club, you're not getting sunlight at 4 a.m. But as soon as you can get some sunlight and get outside into it, then guess what? And they've done studies in Alaska and Norway and some other places where those things reign, and the people struggle with health, and they struggle with different things, and they've learned to kind of regulate it with fake light and different things. But the thing is sunlight's very, very important, and we've kind of added that to the savers equation. So what part of savers, and there's a lot of parts there, has made the biggest impact on you or your life?
Wow, that's a big one. That's a tough one, because
name a couple, right? Name 2 or 3 if you, and then we'll kind of narrow it down through conversation.
Okay, I think I would say the affirmations, or appreciation actually, appreciations, and then the scribing. I did get back to exercising, but that's not the bigger thing. It's the appreciations and the scribing. And to piggyback on something you said earlier on, with appreciation, at this point, I started with my boys at night. I asked them to tell me 3 things that they appreciate from the day, because I realized that it changes your mindset. Like you said, a lot of stuff has happened through the day. And sometimes you go to bed and you're like, sad and upset. But when you can bring back into focus the good things that have happened that day, it just changes. I think you even rest better, because, you feel like, oh yeah, something good came out of the day. So it's been, appreciation and scribing.
For sure. And on the appreciations, I just, there's so much research on this, and I'm just reading the latest and greatest all the time. I'm reading all the time, researching, all of the elements of all of our different rituals. And the appreciations is another thing to look at, especially as dreams as part of the nightly ritual. which is another story for another day. But the E and the A in dreams is to evaluate and to appreciate. And then the M is meditate, and then the S is sleep. And I might as well just do the whole acronym. D is for dim time, which is your time to kind of wind down and turn down the lights and turn off the electronics. And then the R is for reading, fiction, read a story, read something fun, not something that's going to weigh on your mind like a nonfiction book. And then the E is evaluate, and the A is appreciate, meditate, and then sleep. Well, the evaluate, one of the most important parts of evaluating your day is to celebrate. And it's celebrate what is the highlight? What was the good thing that happened? And then you transform into writing your appreciations, 3 to 5 things that you appreciate. Well, one of the things that I think we need to appreciate are those bad things, are those bad clients, are those difficult situations, are those things. And appreciation doesn't just mean appreciate the great things that are in your life. And now this is a higher level of emotional intelligence, is getting to the point where you can appreciate the difficulties, the bad things. And it's like, all right, what can I learn from this? How can I honor this? How can I, where is this propelling me? Yeah, I got a no here, but maybe that's because there's a yes over here. I remember applying for my dream job thinking I had it, and I got backstabbed by someone that was a superior of mine at a school. Because he wanted me to stay at the school I was at. And, he thought that was the way to do it. What a stupid thought that was. But I was devastated. But guess what? Without that, I would have never got into real estate. I would have never gone down this path. But yeah, it was awful. But now I've learned to take the problem or difficulty or challenge and take the appreciation not from years down to hopefully days or hours instead of appreciating it over time. Because guess what? It's just propelling you in another direction, and probably a better direction. So I love that, and I love doing the appreciations at night. I mean, I have books. When I say I have books, it's just kind of funny. It's literally I have, these are appreciations and affirmations, right? And it's like, all right, this is just like over the last, couple of years. So it's one of those, I'm a huge believer in those, and just love it. And yeah, the tougher days are tougher for appreciations, but guess what? Those are the days that maybe I sleep the best because I had the opportunity to kind of appreciate what went on. So, all right. So we're talking about and speaking of struggles and challenges, anything that you still struggle with when it comes to your morning ritual and morning routine?
I think the biggest thing for me, honestly, is the nighttime.
Oh, okay.
That is the biggest thing. So I'm still waiting for sweet dreams. That's the nighttime, because just winding down and getting to bed, I always feel like everybody has to go to bed, and then I walk around, make sure the dogs are okay. You just walk around. I can't even tell you why I'm walking around. You just have to check everything, and then I finally go to bed. And so what happens is it makes it harder to get up in the morning. So even though I'm getting up and I'm still going through my rituals, and what I found out that it takes me 2 hours in the morning to get through my morning routine for me to feel like, yes, I've got a good hang of the day. And that includes my planning and everything. So I get all of that in the 2 hours and exercise. The mornings I don't get that, then I go out. Like if I play pickleball, that's a game I just picked up, like with the rest of America. But the nighttime is a struggle for me, and it does affect the morning because it sets my hours back in the morning.
Yeah, I really need to write that book, don't I? I really need to write Sweet Dreams. I need to get that out. It's so true, is that the morning routine, unfortunately or fortunately, the morning routine and the morning ritual is entirely dependent on the nightly ritual, right? The nightly ritual is not dependent on anything, right? You're gonna, you can do it every night without thinking about it almost. But the morning routine, I can run it in a heartbeat. I can force you to stay up late. I can have you drink a bunch of alcohol. I can have you eat lasagna, 2 helpings of it. That Max just went to his girlfriend's house for dinner. It was a very big deal. First dinner, and she made lasagna. Well, he ate one helping. He was full, but he wanted, like, he wanted her to feel good when she said, you want a second helping? So he said yes when he was really like pretty full. Well, he ate a second helping of lasagna, and then he had some crazy dreams. And then like he was so full that he couldn't really go to sleep. He felt awful. He was just so full. And, and then of course what was in the morning, he was not feeling great. So it was interesting that how dependent the morning can be on your night before. So that's a powerful statement by you. But you know how to solve it. That's what's beautiful is you know how to solve it. You can figure out that night, that time to go to bed and that time to wake up. And I think we all, we're all experimenting on a daily basis. But I think the beautiful thing about having these rituals is that now we're thinking about it, and we didn't even know about it before. We just woke up and went about our day, or we went to bed, when we crashed. And now knowing that a little bit of preparation, a little bit of a system can make all the difference in the world. And it really is a little thing that can make a big difference. They say, large doors swing on small hinges. And I think the small hinges are rituals. I really do. I think the biggest doors of opportunity are swung open because of these little rituals. And we don't realize how much better of a human being it's making us until like 30 days later, and you like something bad happens and you immediately have the positive thought of the appreciate. You know what I'm going to appreciate about this is this. And people around you look at you like you're a crazy fool because like, no, you just lost that listing or you just lost that whatever it was. And it's like, no, no. And you're already moved on. And I think the beauty of all of this is coping with life. These are all mechanisms to cope with life in a better way. And it's kind of like, man, I'm going off on a tangent. Like, man, I'm having a TED talk here, but it's like, it's one of those where, you have life and you're going down this path and it's like a good thing happens or a bad thing happens. And I think the biggest thing is how fast do you get over it? This too shall pass. And the rituals give us a mechanism to maybe get over that quicker or take advantage of it more. I don't know. I think there's a beauty in it, knowing, that we can be more efficient or productive simply by spending a few extra moments in the morning or spending a few extra moments at night,
You're very correct. And that's what I found for myself is that it's made me so much more effective. One of the things that, I've done a few book studies, and one of the books that you had recommended was Atomic Habits, which it happened that my broker had recommended to us as well. But it just talks about doing a little thing every day. Don't try to change a whole lot at a time. It took me a while to kind of get that because, I wanted perfect first time around. But I had to learn to grow slow. So I tell myself now at the top of my week this week, it's the words, it says what my word for this week is, or my sentence for this week, I guess, is grow slow. I have to remember that it's not going to be 100% today, right? So just do one thing today in addition to what you did yesterday, just to make it better. So so the routines really make a difference. The little things make a huge difference. And for me also, like I said earlier, it's motivation for me because I know my son's going off to college this fall. And I'm like, okay, if I don't model it for him to see and see the success, because my husband will be like, oh my gosh, wow, something's changed. I'm like, yes, it's working. And if I don't model it for them to see it, he's not going to want to do it. So that's a huge motivating factor for me.
Yeah, 100%. Sherry and I just literally had this conversation. We've been jumping in and doing a lot of the Sunday night ritual and the Sunday evening ritual for Max. And I'm telling her that, hey, listen, we have 4 years to train Max to do that on his own. So let's really hone in with him at looking at his schedule for the week, and his week is packed. It's school and baseball. He's going through 2 outfits every day. So he has stuff he's got to let close, and then he's got 7 books for 7 classes, and he's got a lot of stuff to organize. So if we can teach him now, then that habit's going to be ingrained when we send him off to school and he's got to do it on their own. And he's going to have these anchor points. It's going to be chaotic. I mean, when I first went to college, I was not equipped. I was not equipped to be organized. I was not equipped to be responsible. And it was crazy, right? I would be late for class. I would do that. It took me forever to get my rhythm. And I mean, now I can get into a rhythm at a different place in a matter of hours. Like, I'm like, no, I got this. And what is that from? It's from the rhythms that I have, these anchor rhythms: nightly ritual, morning ritual, pre-leave ritual, and then the weekly ritual, which is the Sunday evening ritual. So I think you hit it on the head there. Is, man, we can model. And by the way, us doing it for him, it is not sunk in. He doesn't have a clue. Like, and we're saying, like, you should do this, and then we do it. And it's like, no, it's going to be him doing it. And guess what? He's going to learn from it. He's going to hate it every step of the way until he loves it. Just like everything, when we're learning a new habit, it's like, oh, I hate this. I hate this working out thing. I hate this running. I hate running. And then it gets to the point where it's like, oh man, I haven't had my run today. I've got to go run. I love to run. I can't wait to get out and run so I can listen to the podcast and I can listen to this audiobook or whatever it may be. So grow slow, I think, is the phrase that pays today. That's a great one. And any final words of wisdom for someone who might be considering developing the morning ritual, or even taking 30 mornings, or even jumping into Referral Mastery Academy? Any kind of overview or words of wisdom for someone like that?
Let me just say this. I introduced a friend of mine who has been struggling to write a book for the better part of 4 or 5 years to the Miracle Morning for Writers, and I encouraged another friend to read 7L. They're now doing the morning ritual. And I have a few other friends that I'm trying to disciple into this, I should say, just because I was very scattered, very disorganized. Like, I had stuff everywhere. My thoughts, like you said, both my boys play lacrosse, they're in theater, they're in band, they're in music, they do a ton of stuff. On top of that, I'm trying to run a business. It's chaotic. And trying to do that in my head was so hard that when I found the Miracle Morning and the fact that, you know what, it can work, it can get organized. That's why I love the time mastery. Everything kind of works together. So if you're not an RMA and you're really thinking about, honestly, everything works together. I didn't realize it. I spent over $20,000 in shiny objects, just running around the place. And then I realized, wait, I've got 30 mornings right here. And then I've got Sweet Dreams. And then I've got March Madness. And then I've got Event Mastery. Then I've got Time Mastery. What else? Your whole year, YAPS, your whole year is laid out. I've got an event coming up too. It's like, it's done for you. Well, you have to do the work, but it's written out for you. It's a template to follow. So I have a couple of friends now that are thinking about going into real estate. I said, before you do anything, join RMA, read 7L, read Miracle Morning. Mm-hmm. That's my recommendation, and that's what they're doing right now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Those are great words of wisdom. And man, I just appreciate you so much. I love what you shared here. I love how transparent and vulnerable you were too. It's not perfect. You made mistakes. You took it 3 times, or you signed up 3 times, but you only showed up twice. And at the last one, you showed up 21 days out of or 25 days out of the 30 or whatever it was, and you didn't do it perfect, right? But you caught up, and you showed up, and then you grow up, and then you go up, and the results have really shown. And I just wanted to acknowledge and recognize that, and just man, that is, you've given so much wisdom here today. I just appreciate it so much, and appreciate you so much. And Remi, thanks for being our guest here today on the Referrals podcast.
I will say thank you so much for all of the work and effort you put into this, because it has to be a lot of work. And for the whole team, Angela, Paul, I like, Paul's a hammer. He just gives it to you straight up. And then Angela kind of softens the blow a little bit. But the whole team, even Nicole and the rest of the ladies on Event Mastery, the whole team. I just want to say big thank you. I know the struggle I had before I found, Jen. It's amazing. You're a huge blessing. I appreciate you too.
I appreciate you. Thank you for saying that. And it makes it all worthwhile when people implement, and we know that they're going to go off and find and sign up for shiny objects and things like that, but we're always going to be here. That's what I love. We're the true north for a lot of people. And we've had so many people that do that, right? They get sold something and go on a tangent, and then they come back, and then they come back, and everybody always comes back. And when they come back, they're like, love, generosity, and appreciation really solves a lot of problems. And it's really in alignment for how I want to run my business and how I want to run my life. And I'm like, it's all good. We'll welcome you back with open arms when you're ready to come back. And we have the systems, and the systems get better every year. So I love that you shared that. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed today's Referrals podcast. If you did, make sure you rate it, make sure you review it, make sure you share it. It's very easy to share this on iTunes. It's very easy to share this on YouTube. We hope that you do that. And the bottom line is check us out. Join our tribe of trust. Join gengen.com and look around, see what you like. And then from there, RMA may be your answer. And that's the Referral Mastery Academy. And what a great time to join Referral Mastery Academy, because we have March Magic coming up. Used to be called March Madness, but I got this nice little letter from the NCAA basketball people that said maybe you shouldn't use March Madness. So we changed it immediately. And then guess what? In April, we have Time Mastery and Energy Mastery that you can take. And they're not 30-day classes. They're only 8 sessions apiece. So kind of like a light month, but very powerful month, because what are the most precious assets we have? What are the most precious resources we have? Time and energy. We're going to help you maximize both of those in April. That's just the next 2 months of Referral Mastery Academy, and we have stuff every month. So check it out. It's referralmasteryacademy.com, or you can go to marchmagicchallenge.com and check out what we have going there. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you for being here for this episode of Referrals Podcast, and we'll see you next time on Referrals Podcast. See you, everybody.